Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. This game has a parry, so it makes it into parry review. So all these clips I gathered were in Master difficulty, which is the highest difficulty. And since I'm playing in the training mode, because it helps you better study the enemies and the parries, you're gonna notice that sometimes the training mode lets you have infinite health. But whatever, that's not the issue that concerns me. The issue that concerns me is that this game has unskippable cutscenes. I saw a speedrunner playing this game, a person who has passed this game multiple times. And even the speedrunner had to watch all the glitchless speedrun with no glitches. Every single cutscene. Unskippable. All the cutscenes are unskippable. The other thing is, this boss that I'm fighting right now, I think he's unkillable. He doesn't have a health bar. He's just like this demented ghost of your sensei that you have to fight over and over. Now, the next guy, the Sith version of yourself, Sith Cal, he is killable. He is just super hard to kill. Like, he can die, you can kill him. He's just super hard to kill. You're gonna see that he's gonna kill me. But I have some serious issues with this game. Sometimes you have iframes during certain animations. Sometimes you don't have iframes. Some parts of this game are pretty confusing. So once you get over the unskippable cutscenes, which you won't get over it, because anytime you want to replay this game, you have to watch all the cutscenes all over again. So once you get over the cutscenes, which you won't, there's tons of... This game is a Metroidvania, actually. More, it's like half and half. This game is like half Metroidvania, half combat. And the reason why the combat doesn't stay in the dark is because it's Star Wars, it's lightsabers, it's Jedi. So the combat has to be at the forefront or somewhere in center stage of the game. But my problem is there's a lot of jumping and stuff. Me personally, the walking on poles, swinging on ropes, and jumping, I don't mind. But the swimming, climbing on walls, then more swimming, and then dangling from edges, all of that I hate. Those are cutscenes for me. So this game is really like, when you count the cutscenes and some of the unnecessary traversal, this game is like 60% not combat and 40% combat, which is aggravating to say the least. You know, you would want... I reviewed the other day, like 2 days ago, Pascal's Wager. That's a game. That's a game, and that game has a bit of jank in it. You know, that game it's originally a mobile game, but that game delivers. It's pure combat. You can get lost in certain stages and stuff, but it's like 60% combat, 40% the other stuff. So I hate it when games get this formula wrong. See, I just got killed. That guy's a murderer. Seriously, Sith Cal is a beast. This is probably the hardest boss in this entire game. So now, let us study the parries. Know that I did not focus on the force powers. This is solely parries. See? Once you get hit, you can keep getting hit. You don't have iframes. So they hit you once, and then the rest of the guys can pile on. So each time, what I notice is that each time you do anything successfully, like a parry, or you successfully kill someone, the next thing you should do is dodge. Because these dudes, there's no guarantee that you're gonna perfect parry the first hit, and if you miss your first perfect parry, then you're gonna get hit like 3 times in a row by the other 4 guys. Then the other thing is that the dodge, there's the initial dodge, which is like a sidestep, and then the roll. So the sidestep has less iframes than the roll, to the point where a lot of bosses will do their red heavy attack, which is unblockable, and you can't just sidestep out of it. Almost always you will have to roll out of it, because unless you know the timing perfectly, there's not enough iframes on the sidestep for you to really be safe when avoiding attacks. So you're gonna find yourself rolling a lot in this game, and the thing with the roll is that the rolling animation has a lot of like end frames at the end, and that kind of takes, sure, you're avoiding damage, but you're also not engaging in direct combat. You're being avoidant, and that kind of takes away a bit from the flow of the game. They should just put more iframes on the sidestep, and that way you can like avoid damage while still being in the fight. Now again, we're looking at these parries here, and you can tell that something's up. Something's up. Like, I got a parry. Here I'm kicking ass. I mean, I'm getting it every single time. But these guys are weaklings, you know? The bosses, the parrying is more like Sekiro. Here, you parry once, it breaks their... You parry the standard enemies once, it breaks their entire posture. And you can kill them in one shot. Now again, this is Star Wars, so we're gonna have laser deflection. Now, with the lasers, easier to parry than the melee attacks, but same principle applies. If you get hit once, all the other attacks that were right behind that one, they're all gonna hit you. So if you get hit once, you get staggered, and if you get staggered, you're gonna get gangbanged. And it happens with the melee attacks, and it happens with the lasers. Like, that principle is there always. Like the developers of this game were not generous with the iframes. You can call that a bad thing or a good thing. It all depends on your playstyle and how much of a Souls-like you want your games to be. So here I'm fighting like the more elite enemies, and you can see like this guy has a little bit of that Sekiro thing. You can't break his posture in a single parry. You have to take your time with this guy. Here I'm jumping for no reason, it seems. Okay, so some enemies, when you attack their guard, it'll break their posture, and so other enemies, like the bosses for example, when you attack and they block, it does not lower their posture. So there's a bit of a science there. You basically have to memorize which enemies will diminish posture when you attack them, and which don't, which enemies are completely unaffected by your attacks on their posture. And here we see that red attack, that red heavy attack, which is unblockable. You have no choice but to dodge. Honestly, you being a freaking Jedi Knight, in this game, Cal gets knighted as a Jedi Knight. It'd be freaking cool if you could maybe parry, or if there was like a Mikiri counter like you have in Sekiro. But whatever, you just gotta dodge away like a pussy and disengage from combat and be all avoidant instead of staying in the fight. That actually makes more sense for the Rancors or the giant monster enemies that you're gonna see me fight, and that makes sense for that type of enemy. But for these humanoid enemies, maybe this guy, since he's using a hammer, maybe he has an unblockable attack, but the rest of the other troopers, the dark troopers, all their attacks should be parryable. Who am I fighting now? The Rancor. Yeah, you're gonna see how quickly this guy kills you. In Master difficulty, he hits you once or twice and you're dead. Because, you know, he's a big boy. This guy is, you know, he's a big boy. He's a monster. But even this guy, his regular attacks, you can parry them. He just doesn't have posture. He only has a health bar. You can't break his posture. So when you parry this guy, all you're doing is avoiding damage. You're not setting up any kind of counterattack, or you're not weakening him. See, he killed me like it was nothing. But now you're gonna see me beat him. But yeah, I wanted to do a very in-depth, you know, study of this game, of the parries, because the first time I played this game, I uninstalled it because I didn't like all the jumping around and all that. But I gave it another shot, and this game is good. And the graphics in this game, dude, this game has good graphics. And when this game came out, everyone said, "Oh, it's Star Wars Sekiro," and I'm like, I played it just now, and it's only Sekiro a little bit with the bosses. The rest of the time is you deflecting stormtrooper blasters and jumping on walls and swinging on ropes. That's what this game really is. Okay, here's the first boss. The first legitimate boss of the game, because Sith Cow only appears momentarily, I think, in the story. So this is one of the 3 legitimate bosses of the game, not counting Darth Vader. So yeah, I dodged the unblockable. See, it does nothing to her posture, I think. This is the 9th sister. Me attacking her does nothing to her posture. It does deplete her health bar, but her posture, whether she's blocking or not blocking, nothing. The only thing that lowers her posture seems to be me parrying her. And I guess that's fine for this game to work that way. No complaints there. Would it be cool if you attacking her diminished her posture? Sure, that might be cool, but it also adds an element of difficulty by having her posture not diminish when you attack her. So it's basically the game telling you, hey, you wanna weaken her, you have to parry her. However, if you want to deal direct damage, then go ahead. You can damage her when she's in the end lag of some of her moves. She can take direct damage there, but most of the time, I could have parried that attack. I just forgot and chickened out. But most of the time, it's gonna be you just parrying her, or just waiting for her end lag so you can get in some hits. Usually, you can get in 2 hits, but that's it. Now we have the penultimate boss of this game. This guy's easy. Not easy, he's just like annoying, but I think the game, since he's like an old man, the game made him like really easy to parry or something. I don't know. He's just like long to deal with because he has weird attacks, so he like stalls you. But this is actually one of the easier bosses once you get to know his moveset. Again, red attack, gotta dodge it. And this guy, when you attack his guard, it does diminish his posture. Let me check again. Let's see. Okay, that was a parry. See? You attacking him does diminish his posture. Let's see if something else happened. I gotta recheck this. I wanna make sure. Okay, that's a parries, and obviously it's gonna diminish his posture. Yeah, you attacking him. This is one of the few bosses where if you take the offensive, it'll diminish his posture, and then when you land direct hits, you'll also, take away from his health. So, if anything, this might actually be the easiest boss in the game for that reason alone. And now we have the second sister, or the first sister, whatever. She's the final boss of the game. She's the last legitimate boss, because Darth Vader is more of an event, more so than a boss. I mean, Darth Vader is intimidating as fuck, but you don't get to kill him. The fight is left on to be continued. You just swim away, so it's not actually a boss. So this chick, you cannot diminish her posture from attacking. You can only chip away at her health, and only if she's not blocking. So this chick, I love parrying her. There's an attack where she throws the sword like 4 times at you. I love parrying that. It's one of the most fun parries in the game. But yeah, all you can do with her, is just memorize her. The sword spinning really fucks with your timing when you're attempting to parry. All the enemies that do a bunch of sword spinning, it's so confusing that you have no choice but to entirely memorize the exact moment the attack is gonna hit. Otherwise, the sword spinning is gonna distract you and you're not gonna parry successfully. Or you'll just block and take posture damage. So yeah, I don't know how much I enjoyed fighting the second sister or whatever. It kind of, when the battles go on for a long time, it kind of feels like a slog. And it just kind of feels like you're going through the motions after a while. I liked fighting the 9th sister and the old man. I respect that this is one of the harder bosses. I mean, this is the final boss of the game, so it makes sense that she's difficult to deal with. But whatever. So on the parry metric, because the iframes are so wishy-washy. I mean, you deflect lasers, but this is Star Wars. Let's give the parry in this game a 6 or a 6.5 out of 10. And on the enjoyment scale, a 6 out of 10. Yeah, 6 out of 10. You know, this is a good game, no major complaints. I kinda just wish it was perfect. Although, if you look at the Star Wars shows recently, Star Wars is a bit on the decline. So this game is one of the better forms of recent media that we've gotten from Star Wars. So whatever, 6 out of 10 on the parry, and 6 out of 10 on the enjoyment scale. Thanks for watching, guys, take care, and enjoy.